Now let's talk to Harold the H. Peacock from History Out There. And don't forget to send in on Facebook, historyouthere.com, or on westbremerradio.com.au your tapes. And we're going to give away, we'll give away a cockatoo.
All right. Really?
Or
we'll let the manager know that then.
Or magpies.
Magpies.
Who makes that noise?
Oh, the crow.
The crow. We'll give away a crow.
All right.
All right. Now let's talk to Harold the H. Peacock. He's going to tell us about a Battle of the Bands in 1915. There was a scandal.
Yeah, Danny, it was an awful event way back then. You might remember it. The fury erupted in Maryborough in late 1914 on the eve of the Maryborough Naval Band's departure for Ipswich. That's because the Naval Band was making a concerted bid to win the 1915 Queensland Band Championship.
Wow.
But on the eve of the contest, one of its cornet players, he was 19-year-old Claude Elliott, he was mugged and left in the street.
But they stole his clarinet.
Well, that's right. Claude's cornet was damaged, his mouthpiece thrown into a gully, and his music torn to pieces and placed back in his pocket.
Sounds like State of Origin game.
Oh, it was awful. And he was discovered lying in the streets 20 minutes later by the Maryborough baker. Now, the band had pulled out all stops in a bid to win the coveted state title. You see, they'd recruited the Australian champion cornet player, Percy Code, as its conductor. Now, Code was normally the conductor of the Ballarats, being declared by none other than King Edward's trumpeter himself to be the best cornet player in the British Empire and probably in the world. Code would become the ABC's inaugural senior conductor and lead more than 2,000 symphony concerts for broadcast.
Wow.
Now, the favourite to win the Queensland Band Championship back in 1915, however, was the Ipswich City Viceregal Band.
Oh.
They were the defending champions and were conducted by the colossal New Zealander F.W.G. McLeod.
Wow.
Now, over a period of 5 years, McLeod conducted the Ipswich Band to 14 first prizes, 10 seconds, and 3 third prizes, with 10 cups, 75 medals, and prize money to the value of £500, which is more than $300,000 in today's money.
Wow.
But anyway, suspicion for the attack on Claude Elliott immediately fell upon members of the Naval Band's main rivals. And this was the Maryborough City Band and the Ipswich City Viceregal Band. Now, Claude recovered from the mugging and was able to play, but only after borrowing his conductor's personal cornet. And once the competition got underway, the Ipswich police were on guard during the concerts at Queen's Park to ensure that there was no repeat of the brutal attack. And so after days of competition, the winner of the Besson Shield and £100 prize money and the champion band of Queensland that year, it was the Maryborough Naval Band. They took the honours from the Ipswich City Viceregal Band by just a solitary point, Danny.
Wow.
But here comes the scandal.
Oh, there's always a scandal with you. We love it. Keep going.
Yeah. While the competition was underway in Ipswich, the police back in Maryborough carefully inquired into the matter, and they quickly came to the conclusion that no assault had been committed.
Wow.
When he got home, young Claude was interrogated, and he confessed that anything done to him, his cornet, or his music had been done by himself.
Oh.
But he refused to give a reason, and later he even recanted his confession. Now, theories, of course, circulated statewide, and it was revealed that after Claude had allegedly been assaulted, an application was immediately made by the Maryborough Naval Band for their conductor, who was a champion cornet player, Percy Code, to take his place. Now, the application was refused, and the Naval Band won anyway. And there's no suggestion that the great Percy Code was in on the plot, but you can't help wondering. And young Claude ultimately became a well-known cornet player in his own right. His oldest brother was reported killed in action in the First World War, but came back from the dead 12 months later when it turned out he was actually a prisoner of war. Now, in 1942, Claude was 46 years old when he lied about his age so that he could enlist in the Australian Army for the Second World War. He served in the Northern Command Army Band and returned here to Ipswich, which was the scene of his greatest success. But it was also his most shameful controversy. And That's when he was posted to Redbank. He served in the army until he was well over age at 51 years old to probably atone for his earlier sins. And Danny, the Ipswich City Viceregal Band, they won back the state championship the year after that great scandal. So the world returned back to normal.
Oh, mate, where do you get this stuff from? Paul Taylor, this could be a segment on Channel 9 News if you want to get the Ipswich and surrounding areas, get them involved. You've tried it before coming out here and reporting. You had studios out here. Come on. This is a great idea. HistoryOutThere.com. Harold the H. I can see Paul Taylor now fronting the camera and saying, here it is, let's go and talk to Harold the H. Peacock about history out there and history of Ipswich. You killed him again, H.
Oh, thanks, Danny. I'll be posting this story on HistoryOutThere.com first thing in the morning, and you'll see what Percy Code looks like, what FWG McLeod looks like, and, of course, what Claude Elliott looks like. You can look into the faces of these people of this from the great scandal of 1915.
Unbelievable. What a great yarn. You are the best researcher, best storyteller in southeast Queensland. We are tuned to West Bremer Radio.